welcome back to Chemistry with Kismet Tarot. I am Monica, the Kismet Chemist, and in today's reading, we're just kind of getting messages that we are seeking, that are being called out for, messages to help you understand where you're at right now in your life in general. It was meant to be mystery messages, but as I got in touch with each of the upward facing cards, the ones that I'm going to have you choose from, I think there's a special name for that, but my brain just doesn't want to work on that one. Forgive me. Anyway, as I was getting in touch with each one, I found that each card had a very unique message, energy feature to it, and each one addressed drastically different aspects of life. And so I definitely wanted to respect the calling of the cards, respect what my guides are calling for me to do, because I know that when I am led in this way, it has everything to do with what it is that others are seeking answers on. This is a timeless reading. So whenever you come to it, whenever you find it or it finds you, don't be alarmed. These messages are definitely meant for you. I want you to spend some time. I don't want to go over the crystals or the cards with you guys verbally, because there's something deep about hearing the voice from within, and it's not quite the inner voice, but it's like softer, quieter. It's kind of like a secondary intuition. And I don't entirely know what that is, because that's the first time I've ever channeled anything of the sort. And now I have a candle over here that is just going crazy with me saying secondary intuition. So if you've ever heard of it, please let me know down in the comments below. But we do have 4 piles. Each pile is corresponded to a stone. They do go in order: pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, and pile 4. I'm going to go ahead and put those links to, or the timestamps, down in the description box. I'm sorry guys, I didn't get much sleep last night. And I was trying to avoid filming last night just because we've got all the kids home and they were all sleeping and I didn't want to wake anybody up. So I might be a little bit of a space cadet, but I felt this calling for doing this pick a card so incredibly strongly that I just couldn't not. So I am going to give you guys just a little bit of time, and I will see you at your piles. Pile 1, if you chose, excuse me, if you chose the first pile, you chose this 13 of water, the Queen of Water, as well as this Green Aventurine stone, forgive me, and it is actually the heart chakra. There is a lot of symbolism to this card, but what I'm picking up the most is this has everything to do with speaking from your heart. There's this almost sense of awakening of some ancient part within you, some old, ancient, very wise part of your heart and your soul. And it's as though you see just everything. All of a sudden, it's like, you know, in homes, I want to say they're probably like summer homes. When they close up summer homes, they cover all the furniture in cloth and, you know, lock up everything. And it sits over the winter and everything gets kind of stagnant and stale and musty. But then during summer, they come back, the family comes back, and the first thing that I'm seeing is, you know, you open all the doors and then you open all the windows and you let all that fresh air come in. And then after that, you're looking at everything and everything looks like the same color because you've covered everything in cloth. Once the air is cleared, now all the cloth gets removed and all the different colors and the different tapestries and the different furnishings, they all come back with a vibrancy as though they have been missing their owners at the house. This may be a really bad example, or you may get exactly what I mean, but that's what I'm seeing. And I keep getting this like stuck feeling in my throat chakra, and like I want to whisper, I want to talk softly and quietly because I don't want to be misconstrued and I don't want to be misinterpreted. And that's what I'm getting from your energy is this sense of it's time now to soften. And you've felt this for a while, which is why there are so many emotions coming up in your energy and so many different thought processes coming up in your mind that you may be sitting there going, but I know I healed this, or but I've moved beyond this, but I see the truth of this situation, so this should not still be repeating. And it doesn't feel like you're repeating a cycle. It feels like recycling, essentially. It's recycling all that stagnant energy because the doors and the windows of your mind and your heart are being opened after a very long spiritual winter. And as the freshness comes through, as new experiences come into your life, as new connections are made, even very short burst, short-term connections. I'm being reminded of a joke my husband made when I went to Florida, and I was like, oh, I talked to this amazing person on the plane, and he's like, oh yeah, didn't Tyler Durden from Fight Club call that like travel size friends or something like that? Not to discount anybody that I met, they were all amazing people, but the premise is the same. Even if you're making these connections in very short bursts of time, each and every one of those connections being forged is actually helping open another window or another door within your mind, within your heart. And it's this kind of wind-swept emotional cleanse, which is very strange because this is the Queen of Water. But it's kind of like when the ocean is dead calm and you're sitting on the beach and everything is very peaceful and you start thinking to yourself, I could stay here forever. I could stay in this state, in this place forever and be perfectly happy. And then all of a sudden this huge gust of wind comes and you look down the beach and you see like a flamingo or a, I don't know, an ibis just popped into my head. But you see some animal, some bird, some creature that catches your eye, that's exciting, that makes you remember why you came to the ocean in the first place, because it wasn't just for the peace and the calm of the water, but it was for all of the different animals and sea creatures and people watching and noises and the crashing of the waves and the feel of the sand beneath your feet and in between your toes, and that sense of being connected to something bigger than yourself. That's why you came to the beach, but you had forgotten. you may have gone through a time where you lost a lot, whether it was, and trigger warning, losses due to death. I heard, well, I'm not monetized, so COVID, cancer, like old age, illness, anything, but those were the really specific ones that came through. I apologize. It was kind of like there was a want to be a little bit more specific, and then it just kind of that energy backed away, like, please don't repeat this. I just can't. And I apologize for that if that feels like one person. I do apologize. That is why I prefaced it with trigger warnings. Sometimes the messages come through and they can be very emotional. But it could have been a loss of friendship, whether it was a difference of opinions, a difference of belief systems, or even something worse, something more painful, something that kind of led you to shutting all the doors and windows of your mind and your heart to others in the outside world. Whatever it was. And see, now I'm drawn to the crab, and that's kind of Cancerian energy. In its essence, the crab will withdraw into its shell of protection when it gets harmed or when it feels threatened. And Spirit is saying you've been in this spiritual winter, this spiritual hibernation, this spiritual slumber long enough. At this point, it's hiding away, and we're here to bring a fresh breath of clarity for you, to open up the doors of your heart, because you need to understand that you are worthy of. And you can fill in the blank there: love, affection, abundance, prosperity, wealth. This doesn't feel so much like it's physical world related. This feels very much like you need to become aware of the fact that your guides and spirit are coming through to say you are worthy of love. True love, true connection, true intimacy, true honesty, integrity. And it doesn't have to be romantic love. For some of you it is. For a lot of you, I feel like it is. And I'm getting a huge backlash of, am I really ready for that? I don't think I'm ready for that, but I was hurt so bad. It's those emotions that are coming up that are helping you to heal, so that moving forward, you come into this relationship, into this connection, into this understanding and this awareness that what you're moving forward into involves you being completely whole, knowing your worth, knowing that you're worthy of love, knowing that you are enough, that you're more than enough, that you are blessed and divine and guided, and that you are just worthy. You're so worthy. You're so worthy. And the more that you open up to all of you, the more is going to be opening up to you. And I'm being brought back to the summer home imagery that I was getting with the way that it feels when you take those coverlets off of all of the furniture, and it feels like coming home at the same time as it feels like walking into a brand new exciting adventure. And you get to blend these two energies. You get to blend the comfort of knowing your home within yourself, knowing your home within your path in life, but also knowing that you are embarking on a new adventure, and one that is 100% heart-driven. That is amazing. So I'm not pulling any additional cards beyond what I've already pre-pulled. I pulled them last night. I promise you I didn't look at any of them, but I pulled them last night and let the energy sit, because if you missed my intro, I said I wasn't up for filming last night. So let's get a look at any further messages with your oracle cards. So we have the card number 1, the Democrat with Carolina Rose. And then we have going forward. Look at that. It's a new path, a new adventure, just like I said. All right. And then we have last quarter moon in Pisces. Talk less, feel more. Don't worry, you're only slightly being called out, but I am sending you all sorts of love. Before we move into the the wild offerings, I do want to pull the book because I don't know this card very well, but I do find it funny because when I hear the Democrat and Carolina Rose, my thought immediately goes to like summer homes in the Hamptons. So I'm definitely going to take that as Spirit's funny little way of confirming that for me, just for the sake that that's where my own mental thought process is, travel to. I apologize, you guys, if the cards are all wonky. My camera keeps shifting. I'm definitely going to have to find a new setup for where I put my camera at. But while I'm still in the new office and still getting accustomed to it, I'm kind of working with what I've got. So it says here, and this is from the Oracle of the Roses. It says here, the Democrat. Many of us believe we are being fair and just, but is it simply our beliefs and our filters that make us feel somehow righteous? Seek balance and create greater focus on equality in what you are doing by silencing your inner voice and personal views for a moment. Is this really fair, and does it take into account longer-term possibilities, not only for others, but also yourself? The Democrat acknowledges outside influences as relevant to them, even if they do not agree with them. They will clear space to listen, to observe, and to understand the needs, positions, and goals of other people and institutions. And then it says ethnobotanical archetype exploration. So basically like just an exploration into the Democrat. The question for you to ask yourself is, it's not just about me. What and who is it that I need to make space for in my life? Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So what this is telling me is that I'm getting more of a sense that you feel as though you have had to bite your tongue. You have had to silence your inner voice. You have had to ignore all of your intuition and intuitive nudges and psychic gifts and who you were and who you are and your freedom of expression for a very long time. And so because of that, it has created this sense of needing to kind of disconnect from others because it's like the premise of waiting for the other shoe to drop. You're not exactly waiting for the other shoe to drop because you're not actually giving the allowance for a shoe to even appear. Spirit is trying to bring more people into your life, but you're sitting there justifying all the reasons for you to not have people in your life. And Spirit is really calling you to step back from all of the words that are swirling around in your head. That's why I said it was like a secondary intuition. That smaller voice is literally the voice of Spirit coming through, and you can't hear it because you're muffling yourself by staying in your cave and staying in your shell. And I genuinely am not trying to lecture you guys. What I'm picking up is we've been trying to help you understand that it's not going to be at warp speed. Look how long this path is, but it's a gravel road. It's like a country road. It isn't gravel. It isn't maintained beyond who drives on it, which means essentially the same thing as the summer house. It isn't maintained until there's somebody there. So for this journey to begin, you have to take the first step. And in order to take the first step, you have to be able to hear your heart and the calling that Spirit is coming through and asking you to realize you're not going to, I heard you're not going to be able to logic your way through this one. And I get how scary that can be, because that is literally how I felt, how I have felt since like November, December of 2021. I feel like my whole life is a battle of trying to logic my way into things, because that is my natural way of being. But there is no logic here. Everything is intuitive. So you have to be willing to accept that you're going to go blind moving forward. But when you do, it's a paradox. You're going to be blind. You're going to feel blind, but you're going to see all the colors and all the different things that you haven't allowed yourself to see as you've been staying in place. I really hope this is making sense. So let's get some closing messages for you guys from the Wild Offering deck. So we have ambition. May I offer all my deepest longings to love itself and invite a divine plan beyond the mind's imagining. Please use me for the highest good. The cards lately, you guys, have just been crazy with synchronicity and just falling exactly perfectly. And I could not have planned this better myself. So we have clarity. Let me trust my deepest instincts in all ways, especially when matters are unclear. May my holy intuition always guide the way. Seriously, this, and look, remember what I said about it's like speaking from the heart. You've got the throat chakra here and you have the heart chakra here. And even the flowers on this clarity card look like the Democrat card. This is amazing, you guys. Like Spirit is really coming through for you. And I just heard coming through in the clinch. It's almost like you have been ready to give up on moving forward, on trusting yourself, on being able to do this. It's like you have been giving up, losing hope. Please don't lose hope. Guys, please don't shoot the messenger. Please, please, please don't shoot the messenger here. Divine timing. The divine brings things in the timing that we need. Nothing comes before we're prepared, nor leaves too early. May I always trust your perfect and holy timing, dear Lord. And I have an amazing, amazing community here. But I always get this kind of like slap down when I see divine timing or talk about divine timing. And I get that. I really, truly do get that. I understand it. And I apologize, because I know how triggering it can be when you have literally been through it. But what I am picking up more and more here is that you're going to be moving forward with clarity. That's why these cards are sitting where they are, because you've been trying to rationalize divine timing and logic your way through divine timing. Like, okay, well, if I look at the transits here, then it'll make sense. And if I make sure the moon is doing something nice to my energies, or to my moon sign, to my sun sign, then it'll be the right emotional time. But there is no rationalizing the heart. The heart is essentially irrational, and it's meant to be that way because it's meant to bring us back to our essence, our wildness, our ability to love unconditionally, our innocent nature that we had as kids, because as kids, we were the most irrational people in the world. We built that rationality through the pains we went through. And now, as you have gone through and you have healed these pains, you don't need to keep trying to rationalize when divine timing is, but just let yourself feel. When you let yourself feel, you're going to know where you want to go, how you want to go there, and the path is going to become clear, just like the house and the air in that stagnant house becomes clear once the doors and windows get open. You have to open your heart and allow yourself to listen to the voice of it. Okay, pile one, this is all I'm getting for you guys. I want to say thank you so much to your guides and my guides for facilitating the connection between us. I want to say thank you so much for these amazing messages. Spirit, thank you so much for allowing me to sit here and be a channel for you to bring these gifts and these messages forth to others so they may find you, find themselves, and find their path in life. I am ever so grateful for just being here with you guys. If this video resonated, please hit the like button, share it out. The more interaction I get on my channel, the better it is for analytics. So I truly appreciate all the love and support you guys give me. It's amazing. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell up on the corner so you don't miss any of my upcoming uploads and videos. My brain just went like blank again. Down in the description box, as always, there are links to donate to my channel, links to my author page. There's also a link to book a reading with me, and you can book an extended reading for these pick-a cards on a personal level. So if you picked a pile that feels very resonant for you and you want to get this out of the collective energy and into where it applies in your life and what you can do moving forward, they are in 15-minute and 30-minute sessions, and they are YouTube extended readings under Monica Anderson, intuitivehealer.com. That is a special that I run just for YouTube. So you can go ahead and check that out and book them. There's usually, with those readings, there's about a 3 to 5 day turnaround instead of the extended personal reading, or instead of just a personal reading, which tends to be a 7-day turnaround. So those do come back faster. All right. I think I've said it all. I love you guys so much. Thank you again for being here. Thank you for enduring. Thank you for healing. Thank you for coming here so that you can drop the rationality. I know how hard it is, and I am right there with you guys. I am cheering you on from the sidelines, and I believe in you. All right. Love you, pile 1. Bye. Hello, pile 2. If you chose the second card in stone, this is your message. So this is the card Destiny. It's card 16. And this is Dreams of Gaia Tarot. And then the stone that you chose is the clear quartz. And it's going to have trouble. And it's not going to want to. And it is symbolic of the third eye. Now, the reason why the lighting is the way that it is because I have my window shade open, and I was going to make changes to it until I saw the way that the light fell through here, and I heard don't. And so the reason why I haven't done anything with the lighting and have it kind of off kilter to how it normally is because there's something being illuminated within your subconscious mind that you're not fully aware of. So I'm going to preface this with, you guys are my pile of diviners, my psychics, my tarot readers, my intuitives, my witches, pagans. You walk the path of the ancestors, you walk the path of magic, you walk the path of the higher seeing and awareness. And usually you have that higher perspective quite easily. You see more than the average person. You see more than the average psychic, is what I just heard. So you are very, very attuned to the divine realm and the spiritual realm and bringing wisdom through. And so destiny is no stranger to you. But what I was picking up from this card is there's this sense that there's something that almost feels blocked in your third eye. And now my third eye is like throbbing. And it's like right in the center, and you just want to kind of massage it, but it's like a knot in your back that doesn't want to let loose. And you keep going over all the different things that you normally do that will alleviate the pressure in your third eye, and nothing is working. And it's not that nothing is working, it's that you're actually working through it in your sleep. And so in your dream state is when all the awareness has been coming through. And because of that, you may not actually be waking up feeling physically tired. Some of you may be, if you've been doing like really, really deep healing. Let me see if I can set this just a little bit. I apologize. I explained this to pile one, but I'm still getting kind of accustomed to my office, my new office space right now. And the camera is not on a great boom right now. So I am going to have to change that around after this reading, but I did want to get these messages through. But some of you may be waking up feeling tired, feeling as though you didn't get any sleep. But I get the sense that for the vast majority of you, like 95, 97% of you, you wake up very, very refreshed. And that's why you're so thrown off, because you're waking up really refreshed, like you have slept better than you have for years. But you're not seeing what you normally see. You're not hearing what you normally hear. It's like the spiritual realm has gone silent. And it doesn't mean that you're on the wrong path, and it doesn't mean that you did anything wrong and your gifts haven't been taken away. It's a cleansing, a very, very deep subconscious cleansing occurring in your third eye right now. And that's why it feels like, physically feels pressurized and blocked. And I get the sense that you guys know this pressure. Like I've felt this pressure before. Why isn't meditating working? Why isn't journaling working? Why isn't salt baths working, or acupuncture? Some of you do acupuncture for it. That's pretty cool. But just like any of the normal things that you would do don't seem to be working. And so now you're starting to come into that hazy gray area of, do I simply trust what's going on, or are you going to allow doubt to start in? And just because you're here at this reading doesn't mean that you're allowing doubt to start setting in. It just means that you need to be aware that there's that teetering where the doorway to doubt, like I'm seeing this gateway end, whereas it would look very powerful and very majestic, it actually looks like a tangled web to me. And it's like teetering on the edge of walking back into that tangled web when you have done everything in your power and everything spiritually you needed to untangle that already. So please, the biggest message coming through is please don't doubt yourself. Take this as a break. Take this as a breather. Take this as a chance for you to rest, to rejuvenate, to relax, to allow for the healing to be done for you, to you, and through you, without you having to actually continually push forward, working, healing, working, helping others, healing yourself, helping others, loving yourself. It's a noble thing that you're doing, but it definitely needs time within your system. And that's why you feel like that third eye is blocked, is because you've been going too much. This phrasing has been floating through the collective everywhere, and it's burning the candle at both ends. And I am not calling you out, because I am guilty of it myself. So don't shoot the messenger here, because, I'm calling myself out on that one. I know that I do it. And I was talking to my husband about it today, because I'm just so tired of living that life. But what I'm picking up here is your guides and your angels and there's I wanted to say mountains of teams, but that would just be weird, because why would your guides stack themselves one on top of the other? I don't know. I'm feeling weird. Anyway, there's just it's like looking out at a pantheon. I think that's the right word, of guides and energies. And they're literally holding their hands out like, please let us take this burden from you. Please put it in our hands and let us take it from you, because we're here for that. That's what we're here for. That's why we're here. And all you need to do is step into a state of trust. step into that state of trust and know that it's all going to cleanse itself for you. So let yourself sleep and feel rested. Go do normal people things. And if you're sitting there going, what do normal people do? Please let me know. I am not entirely certain. However, I can tell you when I embrace normal people things, I watch crap reality TV. And this is a personal judgment about the reality TV. So if you love it, just know I love it too. But I will watch The Bachelor and The Bachelorette, old seasons or the new season, because I'm doing normal people things, because I know that it's like being on a spiritual vacation, it's like being in slumber mode. It's not even like being put on ice. It's like being put in slumber mode. It's like your alarm goes off and you hit the snooze button, but one of those times you accidentally hit the stop button. So your alarm just stops and you just keep slumbering. You keep sleeping. That's kind of where you're at with your gifts, with your third eye. It's slumbering right now because it's being overhauled. And the reason why you chose the Destiny card is because it makes you wonder whether you're on the right path. And I get the sense that you guys are people who really, truly believe in destiny. Like you believe it. You've seen it. You've seen the synchronicities. You've seen the inner workings and the outer workings of spirit in your life, but in other people's lives in the world. Like you are a seer, you know. And because of that, there's that, oh shit, what did I do wrong? You didn't do anything wrong. You actually did everything right. This is a destined point in your life. You are in a destined phase in your life in which that healing, that cleansing that you are having done right now is exactly what needs to happen because your gifts are about to be taken to a higher level. And I just heard when Jupiter re-enters Pisces. So I was trying to keep astrology out of this reading for the first time in a really long time. If you guys have been here before, you know how passionate I am about astrology as well as tarot and oracle readings. I apologize if you guys can hear my dogs. They're outside and there are birds and rabbits and other dogs. They're just kind of running in the backyard, which is outside my office window. But this is a deeply destined moment in your life and along your path. This, I'm hearing, has been written. It has been written. And now I'm seeing like the Akashic records and you sitting down with spirit and writing in a book. And I mean like a tome, like a big book, you know, like the Monster Book of Monsters from Harry Potter, big book, except it doesn't try to bite you. I don't know what it is with your guys' energy, but it makes me feel goofy. All right, I'm going to set this up to the side here. I want to actually keep it in the camera view. See, this is what I'm talking about. I need to sort my camera stuff out. Well, I apologize for the lighting, guys. But take it in a positive light. Like I kind of like that whole like swooping in of the sun. It's kind of like spirit coming in and being like, don't worry, it may be fuzzy right now. It'll clear. It'll be okay. All right, let's see your oracle cards. I'm just going to pull all of them and then I'll explain what the images are. So we have focus. I'm sorry, I told you guys you weren't on ice, but it was like a slumber. And then we get the focus card and it's got a literal mountain on it. I genuinely need to move this up for you guys to see. It's got a literal mountain and a snow leopard on it. Yeah, we'll get into it. Just wait. Full moon in Pisces, forgive. Oh, the message is changing in a good way. Don't worry, in a good way. Number 4, Scotch Rose, the Challenger. I just heard somebody said something and something did not go the way that somebody thought it was going to go. And it just keeps going on and on and on. And it's kind of like this round and round and round thing. The Challenger is somebody who literally comes into your life and is like, boom, this is how it's going to be. This spirit just said that I'm challenging you right now. I don't know why, but so apparently I'm challenging you because of the focus and the forgive message. So you've been focusing on what you need to do to heal, and you haven't been allowing the message of forgiveness to come through. Don't shoot the messenger. Let me explain. Sometimes the deepest forgiveness that we need to give is the forgiveness to ourselves for not knowing better, for knowing only what we knew at the time, and for doing the best that we could at the time, even if it doesn't feel like it was the best we could do. Sometimes we believe that the best that we could do is better than what we actually were capable of doing. In order for this to clear out completely, you have to focus on the areas within yourself that you need to give yourself forgiveness for. And there is no one else that can do that work but you. That is 100% mentality. When it comes to the upgrading and the healing of your third eye, that is 100% spirit and your guides and your team. They have that. They're the literal mountain behind you, giving you the strength, but you need to focus on the forgiveness that you need to give to others, but mostly to yourself, because it has infiltrated your dream world in a pretty rough way. So I have these dream decoder cards, and I'm not even going to read the back, but you guys have like nightmare cards. So I'm just going to put them down here. Almost nightmare cards. Well, it might be a nightmare. Okay. Trigger warning. The baby card here that I picked up has everything to do with being afraid of being a mom or being afraid of trying again because of a loss. And I preface that with trigger warning because it still feels very, very fresh. And I am here to tell you that it was not your fault. I have carried 4 children to term. I have miscarried 6 children in my life. And I carried blame, shame, and guilt with me for those losses for a very long time. Particularly with the one that I was pregnant with my husband. And I miscarried within the first month. And it was the wrong time, and we weren't in the right place, and we were still just barely dating, and it was every manner of wrong situation. I could not have foreseen at that time that I would be sitting here and we would have just celebrated our 4-year wedding anniversary. I couldn't have seen that. I could not have seen that 2 months later I would be going under the knife to have my tubes removed. That it would be another 1.5 years from that point that I would have a hysterectomy at the age of 30, effectively removing any possibility of having babies. IVF was off the table. I lost one of my ovaries 2 years later as well. It was like this tumble down effect. And I carried that blame and I carried that guilt with me forever. And then I'd have dreams about my husband having babies with other people because I couldn't give him that. And I felt more shame. And then I felt this sense of like betrayal from him. But it was literally my subconscious mind working through this feeling that I had inside of myself where I had done wrong. And I am only sharing this depth of emotions with you guys because I want you to understand, if you have lost a baby, it was not your fault. And you can try and tell me it was every way you want. it happened how it was meant to happen. And you do not need to continue punishing yourself for it, because that punishment and that piece that you hold on to where you didn't get to and it didn't work out and there was loss there is preventing so much more from coming into your life. It's literally preventing destiny. I am deeply, deeply sorry if this is your pile, if this is your message. I am so sorry. And I do not mean that in a pitying way. I mean that with every ounce of heartfelt, painful empathy I can. I know the loss, I know the pain, but it was not your fault. Let yourself heal. Focus on forgiving yourself. Focus on forgiving yourself for blaming yourself. There is no shame in what happened. For others of you, you're literally having nightmares, crashing cars and getting sick, throwing up, your teeth falling out. And of course, there's the proverbial, I forgot all the answers, and there's a pop quiz. You feel challenged by something. Something is challenging you. I mean, it doesn't surprise me with the Challenger Rose, but what it is that's challenging you is coming from inside. It's not from outside. For some of you, you just feel deeply unsafe. You feel deeply insecure and not necessarily insecure, but unsecure. I don't like that word. I don't even know that it's a word. Let me know in the comments. But you feel as though there is no safe place, no safe space for you. And you have to run and hide. And everywhere you go, every turn you take, there is another nightmare. And what you don't realize is all of these dreams, forgive me, all of these dreams are coming up at night, and it's so deep down that you're in such a deep state of sleep that you can't remember them. But I'm seeing them all. I'm seeing them all, and I'm actually feeling a lot of it because it feels like I am choking on something, but I literally just breathed. I'm going to grab some water. I know I swallow loudly. My husband tells me that all the time. You aren't being tested. There is no right and wrong answer to this part of the journey. It's simply Spirit asking you to step into a state of trust here. Let your guides help you heal. Let that deeper part of you get healed, but don't step into doubt. Don't step into shame. Don't step into guilt and blame. I'm sorry, this card, I want to hug you so bad, so much right now. I want to close with a challenge from your guides. I kind of want to kick and scream like a toddler. And now they're giggling. Because they said, we challenge you to focus on forgiving yourself for what was not ever your burden to bear. It was never your fault to carry. It was never your fault. It was not your fault. For those of you that the message of a loss of a baby in any way, shape, or form does not resonate, please take it and apply it to the situation it does. Because this pile in particular has something that they're holding on to within themselves that is carrying that guilt and carrying that shame. And that is the only thing that Spirit wants you to work on right now. Just that. And it will be easier than you think it will when you focus on the part that is the truth. versus the fallacy of your mind. Pile 2. My love goes out to you all. I did not see this being such a challenging reading, such an emotional reading. And see, I was being all silly. I think you guys needed a laugh, apparently. Please tell me you laughed at me. Please. Otherwise, my silliness was just for nothing. Also, this is weird. She looks like one of those, okay, there's an episode of Supernatural, and I think it's like season 3 where Dean is like going down to hell, and there's little changeling babies, and that's what their mouths look like. So, yeah, maybe some of you were watching Supernatural. Maybe that's what you can do as your normal human thing. Check it out. I haven't gotten beyond season 9, and my husband is so pissed off at me for it. I keep turning it back to the beginning, but I haven't watched it in about 2 years. Okay, I digress. Pile 2. I love you guys so much. I am truly, truly honored and blessed to have you here on my channel, to know that there are people in the world that are still enduring through something as difficult and things as difficult as you have been through, and you are still out there helping others. You are a champion. You are a miracle. You are amazing. And I am honored to read your energy and bring your messages forth. I want to say thank you so much to your guides and my guides for facilitating the connection for these messages to come through me. I want to say thank you so much to Spirit for allowing me to sit here and channel these messages and flow your love out to the collective of Pile 2. Thank you so much. I am so, so honored and so deeply grateful. I truly am. Pile 2, you guys know the drill, the YouTubey things that everybody says. If this resonated, please hit the like button, share it. If you feel as though someone else can be helped with this message, don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell up in the corner so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. And feel free to check out the description box below. You'll find links to my author books, my author page, my author books. Wow, that was good English. I do good words. And I've written 6 books. To my author page on Amazon, there are also links to donate to my channel and links to book a personal reading. If you would like to book a personal reading based off of this specific pick a card, I do offer extended personal readings based off of YouTube pick a cards. It's in the link below. Okay, Pile 2, go do normal human things. I love you guys so much. Thank you again for being here. Bye. Pile 2. Hello, Pile 3. If you chose the third pile in stone, you chose the card 17 and Journey, as well as the amethyst palm stone, or thumb stone, I guess, however you want to look at it, which is also a signifier of the crown chakra. So I'm going to go ahead and put that up there. The Journey card here. So there's been this message repeating over and over and over again. And I picked it up as I was writing, but I also have been picking it up from the collective energies. And it's all about the journey out of the darkness and into the light. So when we go on a hermit journey, we go down deep into ourselves, and it's like walking in shadows. And it literally is like you're walking in your shadows, because in order to get to know your shadows, in order to become aware of them, to unify with them, to blend with them, to accept them, to embrace them, to bring them into your being and into a healthy state, you have to really walk with them and walk within them. You have to become aware of the manifestations and the manner of those manifestations, and recognize when they're coming out, how they're impacting you and how they're impacting others, what it is that triggers them. And I feel like you know all of this because you've been on this incredibly long, like years long. I'm hearing like 3 to 5 years long journey of literal shadow embracing and healing. And that is no small feat, but you're standing at a doorway right now. And much like this card, it's like you have one foot in the shadows and one foot in the light. And you're wondering what the point of it all was. Like, why did I go all the way through all of that? And I'm here and I have no frigging clue. And you know what? I can't speak for the whole of the spiritual community, but I'm fairly confident in saying we all get there. We all go through it. We all feel that way. We all get to this point where we're like, well, what the hell do I do now? Because I've done all of this, but I still don't see what the purpose of it was. I mean, yeah, I'm healthy and I'm whole, but you know what? My outside world is still falling apart. Now what do I do? Because I did all of this, but I don't know how to turn that into something like anything. Your healing isn't meant to be transformed into something fiscal or financial, rather. And I want to say it was Chloe Taylor I was watching just the other day, where she talked about how there was this mindset that you have to monetize every single thing, and how she had to come to that realization that that just isn't the way it goes. And honestly, it was the first time in a long time that I have watched a pick a card, just watched one for myself, where I have found myself crying, because it was so freeing to hear somebody be like, yeah, no, I'm not going to monetize this shit. I'm just going to do it. Because there are a lot of things that I went and did and learned that I sat there going, well, why did I do this? Spirit, what was the point of this? Why did you bring me down this path? Like, yeah, I get the healing aspect of it though, but come on, like, I asked you if you could help me find a job. Somehow I ended up going on an inner journey after that. It doesn't make any sense. And it's not meant to make sense, but it is a journey. And that is the point of this whole thing. Every single one of your experiences is part of the whole. Every single moment of your life, from the breath that you took right before I said that to the breath that you're taking right now, is part of the journey of your life, of your soul. Every single experience is important for that journey. It's important for that part of your soul. And nothing should be negated, especially not the depth that you went to within yourself to embrace your shadow. Not with the mindset of healing it. No, you went down there to say, I am going to love every piece of myself if it's the last thing I do in this world. And I promise you, and I do not make promises I can't keep, but I am feeling this one so strongly, it will not be the last thing that you do in this life. There is so much more for you, because once you step through this doorway, once you take that step out of the shadows, that place that has somehow become your comfort zone because you've been in it for so long that you don't know how to step out of it and embrace the fact that you're meant to feel good. You're meant to feel happy. You're meant to feel whole. You're meant to be excited about life. Not because anything super special is going on, but just because you're awake and you're breathing and you're here and you're living and you're experiencing, and you are on this journey. You are moving into that. And it is very disorienting when you move into that. It is incredibly disorienting, because every day you wake up and you're like, is this real? Is this real? It is real. And you're moving into it. I'm looking at the card myself, and I know that there are likely a lot of you caught up on that black butterfly down on the bottom. And yes, you may be seeing black butterflies. I would not doubt it. And yellow butterflies or fireflies. That's beside the point. The whole point of that butterfly is for you to realize that you have been out of that cocoon for quite a while now. But black butterfly blends in with the dark. It's exposed in the light. It can be seen. It means it can be caught by a net, by SpongeBob. I don't know why SpongeBob came into my head, but I'm literally seeing him giggle and running back and forth with a net and catching butterflies. Which, FYI, does anybody know how butterflies got into the ocean in SpongeBob? Because I'm curious. I have questions. I'm curious. Sorry, apparently I was channeling Emily D. Baker at that moment. If you don't know who she is, she's a hilarious legal analyst on YouTube. She's amazing. I love her to death, but she's very, very adept with the justice system. And for someone who has been through a hell and high water with the justice system, it was such a relief to watch somebody, a lawyer or former lawyer nonetheless, crying when she talked about her former clients that she was not able to help. And even those that she was able to help who were in horrible situations. It was heartwarming. I've had very challenging lawyers. I'm sorry, I don't know what that tangent was for, but anyway, no, you need to allow yourself to step out of the darkness. That black butterfly, that's like you. It's like the beauty of who you are, and it's very unique and very special. And no, I don't mean a monarch butterfly that are everywhere. I mean a true blue black butterfly, not a moth, but a butterfly. I think I've seen one true black butterfly in my life. No markings, just black. It was one of the most awe-inspiring things that I had ever seen. I got so excited, I started screaming up and jumping up and down and like pointing at it because it was so incredibly rare for me to see. Now, forgive me. I've said this on multiple occasions. I am admittedly very provincial. So if you see black butterflies all the time, pictures or it didn't happen. But you are as unique as a black butterfly is to me. But that's how unique you are to the world, to spirit. That makes you super special. You're like the very last dodo bird. And spirit would scoop you up and put you into hiding to protect you if the world did not need to see that you exist. Because the world does need to see that you exist, and that's where you're at on your journey. You are ready to step through that door. You are ready for that transition. You're ready for that newness because you are starting to understand. And I hope I am helping. I truly do. I hope I am helping you with this understanding that it doesn't matter what you went through or what you had to go through. You don't have to try and turn it into something pretty. Let it be messy. It's in the mess that you find the gift and the blessing and the diamond in the rough. And that's what you are finding. And when you find that, you're going to step in the sun and you're going to hold that diamond up and you're going to be like, hell yes, look at me. Look what I've done. Look where I'm going. Because you won't doubt a single step you take. And nobody did it but you. Spirit did not go through what you went through. Spirit guided you, led you, and protected you, but did not go there. You had to go there. You made that choice. You did this. Take the credit where credit is due. Own your success on this one because you did amazing. All right, let's take a look at your oracle cards. Oh my gosh, did you guys hear my stomach growl just now? And I apologize if you can hear my kids screaming. Apparently, the dog did something super funny, and my stomach is telling me it's past time for breakfast. It's 9:30. It's definitely past time for breakfast. I'll get there. All right, let's take a look. Sorry, guys. We have patience. Is that an ibis? You may have been drawn to another pile. I'm not going to say which one because I'm not entirely certain that there's that corresponding energy, but I did pick up an ibis in another pile. We've got patience. Last quarter moon in Libra, make time for self-love. After a long spirit, like shadow journey, that's absolutely what you should be doing. You should be like self-care, primping and prepping 100% because, you've earned it. All right. Card 34, the self. Madame Abel, I think it's Châtenay Rose. I love this. The self-love, stepping into yourself for real. Like, yeah, you have been very patient. Yes, it has been a long journey, but now it's time for you to be more patient with loving yourself, with nurturing yourself, with taking care of yourself, with embracing yourself. Like, it's the diamond thing. All right, and let's find out what your soul journey is. We have peace. I am a being of love, and I release all negative energy. And I'm going to put that directly below the journey card. Let's shift these over. I apologize, guys. So I told both pile 1 and 2 this, but I am having some major issues with the boom that my camera is on. It keeps moving around. It just doesn't want to grip the way that it used to in my old office. So I apologize if everything gets really skewed on a regular basis because it keeps shifting. Yeah. So we've got the journey and peace. And then we have service. I feel good when I can help others. That definitely is here with the self. And finally, we have blame. I accept responsibility for my well-being. Yes. Okay. Here, right here, this is what you just finished healing. That's why Spirit is asking you to be very, very patient with yourself right now, because when you heal blame out of your energy, when you take responsibility for what is for you, what is right for you, what you need, like going to the depths of the shadow to pull out everything that you have been blaming yourself for, saying it's my fault, I did this, blah, 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 whatever. The burdens that you put on your shoulders that you were never meant to carry. Look how free that bird is. Look how free the bird is as its wings spread. Direct sunlight. Healing blame, that Spirit did not do that for you. You did that for yourself. You freed yourself from that. You freed yourself from that web, that tangled ickiness within you. Like it just feels like, I don't know if any of you guys have seen the movie Constantine with Keanu Reeves. There is a scene towards the end where he sacrifices himself for someone else. Spoilers. Sorry. And so sacrificing oneself is a ticket to heaven, essentially, according to the movie. And there was a battle between God and Lucifer for who got to take Constantine. And because of that, Lucifer got pissed off, so he stuck his hands in Constantine's chest. And Constantine had cancer. So he went and he yanked the cancer out. And it just was this like black, gooey, gross, like there was like slime coming down it and whatever. Okay, so the reason why I'm telling you this, in case you haven't seen the movie or in case you have seen the movie and you know what I'm talking about, or if you haven't and I just spoiled the ending of the movie, and I apologize because you didn't even know that was the end, but I mean, it's kind of one could intuit it. Anyway, I apologize, guys. The reason why I'm telling you that is because that's what the blame felt like in your energy. Like, Spirit is showing me how it felt in your energy before, and it's not there anymore. And you may not know what to do with that because you feel this deep sense of peace. And it's this service card that you're stuck on because that's what you want to do. You know yourself, and you are learning to make more and more time for self-love. And you are learning patience because you have alleviated so much blame off your shoulders. But now you want to be of service. You want to help others, but you have to help yourself first. And when you heal something that big, you have to say, okay, I did it. And then celebrate yourself. Celebrate yourself. Like big and strong, tall, something or other. I don't know why that came through, but that's what, like, celebrate yourself for being big and strong and tough and tall. And I don't know. I think that's clothing size. I don't know if you guys caught my intro, but I am like sleep deprived and my brain is all over the place. Plus, the kids are very distracting today. So I do apologize for all the little background noise, but you know what? That is my day-to-day life, and these monsters make me so happy. They are monsters, but they're my monsters. It's okay. It's okay to be of service of others, but it's also okay to take care of yourself first and foremost. And you don't need to blame yourself if you get quote unquote behind on something because you're taking care of yourself, you're taking a vacation, you're spending some quality time, you're learning to embrace who you are. And that's a beautiful thing. And pile 3, I'm astounded by you, and so are your guides. I'm not picking anything else up, and all I'm hearing is there's a lot of chaos in the background. And yes, there is. And I apologize one more time for that. I am going to leave the reading here. I wish you all the best. I hope that you take a good, long, hot shower and really like pamper yourself. Whether you are male, female, whatever your gender identity is, whatever. And I don't mean that in a flippant way. I mean, go pamper yourself. Go pamper yourself. Whatever way is calling to you. Nourish your body, nourish your mind, nourish your heart, and be nourished by your soul. All right. Pile 3, thank you so much. Thank you for the journey you went on. Thank you for continuing to move forward. Thank you for being here and for hearing these messages, for being open to them. Thank you for not taking off when your patience is being tested in this world. You are so needed and so appreciated. And I know you will find exactly what you feel called to do to be of service. I know you will. I trust in that. Thank you so much to your guides and my guides for facilitating this connection. Thank you so much, Spirit, for these gifts and these messages that flow through me for the collective of pile 3. If this video resonated, please feel free to hit the like button, share it out with anybody who you feel could. Wow, my words are good today. Anybody you feel may be helped with these messages. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the little notification bell up on the corner so you don't miss any of my upcoming readings. And I will see you guys next time. If this resonated and you guys want more information about your own particular journey, please check out the links in the description box below. There are links to my author page on Amazon, as well as links to book a personal reading with me. And one of the services I offer is a personal extended YouTube pick a card reading in which you can tell me the pick a card video, the pile, and you can book for a 15 or 30-minute recorded video, and you will get the pick a card section and the other stuff. And that would be my darling daughter telling my wonderful son to shut up. I apologize, guys. All right. I will leave you here. I love you guys. Bye. Hello, pile 4. If you chose the 4th pile, you chose the card 14 in water, or the King of Water. And I believe this is yellow aventurine. I could be wrong. Actually, it could be citrine. I forget. And the solar plexus chakra. I'm going to set this here. And the first thing, whoa, okay. That just took on a whole new turn. Okay, so are you guys Saturn dominated? Not Saturn, but Neptune dominated in your chart. I have been working with this tarot deck for about a year now. And it is the Dreams of Gaia Tarot. And if you look closely, you can see Neptune's emblem here. Whoa. Sorry. I just realized that I need to send this reading to someone because there's something about that is just getting me, because behind it, I believe it's supposed to be coral, but it looks like a scarab beetle to me. And so I was going to mention that you may have past lives in Egypt, or you may be living similar to me on an Egyptian ley line. So ley lines are energetic lines that run through the earth, and they carry the energy of whatever they connect to. So where I live, I actually live on a Pyramid of Giza ley line. And I'm on directly on the ley line. And when I moved into this house in 2019, that entire year of 2019, I didn't realize what was going on because I was not at that stage yet in my spiritual journey in which I would become aware of what a purge was. But essentially my entire year of 2019 was just this massive emotional purging. I literally kicked off the year in the ER and had an ovary removed. And then I had my tonsils removed 2 weeks later. I had this post-op infection, and trust me, there's a reason why I'm getting there. I'll come full circle. Don't worry. I had this serious double lobe pneumonia post-op infection. And after that, my kidneys started shutting down. My liver started shutting down. They thought I had hepatitis, but they called it idiopathic hepatitis because I kept testing negative and testing negative. And it came down to the summer of 2019. They were testing me for a condition called polymyositis and dermatomyositis. There are two different versions of the same autoimmune disease where it essentially breaks down your muscles because I had severe muscle wasting. And then I started bruising everywhere and my platelet count dropped again. And so they thought that I had leukemia or lymphoma. And it was this mess of everything. And throughout all of that, I was it was like emotional, verbal diarrhea constantly over all of the shit that I had been through in my life, all of my fears. It was like facing my mortality for an entire freaking year. And I was terrified. I was absolutely terrified. And we moved into this house. And that's when everything got really, really bad because it was after the pneumonia, but before the liver and kidney issues. And it was that fall that I found out, I did a genetic study and found out I was a vanished twin. And when I found that out, I realized I did so much research, and I found these communities of people who had found out later in their life, whether it was because some random something or other, because when you become a vanished twin, you can have what's called chimerism. So for me, I have 2 lines of DNA. So my saliva is a different DNA than my blood is, essentially. And I have 2 different blood types, and they don't like each other a lot of the time, but they really don't like any outside influence. And I apologize if you guys can hear noise. My cat is trying to climb into a box in my office. I'm still getting settled into the new office space. But my point here is that when I found out I was a vanished twin, so many of the emotions and the things, the burdens that I had been carrying for so long, I had never realized that I had literally been carrying my entire life. And I just recently had a conversation with my mom where I told her, I said, I realized I had survivor's guilt. I was literally born with an abandonment wound. Oh my gosh. I am so sorry. Winifred is struggling hardcore to get out of the box now. She got into the box, then she wanted out of the box. She is all kinds of crazy when I channel, guys. But I told her, I said I had been born with an abandonment wound and born with survivor's guilt. And I had spent so much of my life trying to make myself worthy enough to justify my own existence. And all of that healing, during all of that purging and revelations and realizations and everything that was going on, I found myself becoming obsessed with having specific colors in my house, specific colors on my walls. So I built an entire library in our little storage room. I overhauled it, renovated the whole thing, turned it into this immaculate library, escape area for me to just go and be in. Just something that was for me. Oh, I apologize, guys. My camera kept shifting. This has been happening continually. I apologize. It's the new setup. We'll get there. Don't worry. After I needed my walls to be red. I never used to be a person that loved the color red. I do now. But it was, I just kept saying, I need red on the walls. I need a wall, even just one wall. I need a wall to be red so I feel at home here. And I couldn't justify it to myself. I had no idea. And this is before I had ever done any research into chakras. And so I had no idea that the red was correlated to the root chakra. After that, I became obsessed with having orange and yellow and green on my walls. It took me until midway through 2020, actually more towards the end of 2020, before I would realize that I was literally working my way through healing the chakras. And as I was healing each chakra, I wanted those colors literally surrounding me. Now, the reason why I brought up this big, long story for you guys is because you chose the solar plexus and the King of Water. And the King of Water is known for having his emotions aligned, intact in his awareness, and for making decisions that are equally logic and emotional. And this can only come when he clears out his lower chakras, gets in touch with his solar plexus, and connects his solar plexus with his heart chakra. And so for me, it took me such a long time to realize all of this, but you are in this state where you are coming back down into your solar plexus and learning how to make decisions. I just heard learning how to manifest from your personal place of power, because it's no longer an off-kilter manifestation. It's now coming directly from the heart, and it's projected out through that solar plexus center. And that solar plexus center is essentially what I just heard. This is very strange. I've never heard anything like this before. Your solar plexus center, if you want to find it astrologically for this pile specifically, look into Neptune. Neptune is where your solar plexus and your third eye connect. That is so cool. I'm literally watching little lines being drawn on an astrological map, and then them flowing into somebody's energy body. And it looks so cool. You guys, I wish I could show you what this looks like. I don't know how many times I say that when I am channeling and I get a clairvoyant vision when some of this stuff is just so cool. It's like all of these energetic lights just flashing everywhere, and then strings. If anybody here has heard me talk about being a time seer, one of the gifts that I have is I can see threads of time. And there are quite a few people out there who can, they just don't realize that's what it is. So you get a scenario given to you. And I'm telling you this because I have the feeling this is a gift you have. You have a scenario given to you, and you can literally see all the multitude of ways it could play out. So you can see the pathways like little threads spreading out into the future. And you can see where there are going to be blockages, where there are going to be challenges, and how to maneuver around them, or how to choose a better thread that's going to get you to a better path. This is so crazy. You guys have some like, holy crap, amazing energy and like super powerful. But right now, what you're doing is you're manifesting your heart's desire and you're projecting that outward through your solar plexus. And it has something to do with Neptune, whether it's your placement or Neptune in Pisces, which, you know, wouldn't surprise me either. But there's something huge here. It's like, you know what you have within you. You know what you have contained. And you are like, I just heard cool as a cucumber. Yeah, I'm a nerd, guys. And I grew up in the 90s and my mom was born in the 50s. And because of that, I can tell you definitively that I could, you know, say many, many, many quotes that go back as far as like probably the 60s or 70s. So you guys actually got the most cards here. So let's get a look at how you can take this energy and use it on your journey moving forward. I don't even know what the point of your guys' reading is, if aside from just like pumping you up because you're freaking awesome. We have purity. Oh, yes. Look, and you've got the two colored eyes here. You've got the heart and the throat chakra. Oh, you guys are like really, truly like purifying your entire chakra system and learning how to manifest with that. Pine trees may be significant to you. You may be building things with pine wood, or you may be interested in pine wood. And usually I would say don't do it because it's really kind of cheap wood and it's not the best quality. But if you feel drawn to like building some sort of shelf or some sort of a wooden picture, I don't know what that means, but some sort of wooden picture or something, and you kept feeling like, maybe I should do poplar, maybe I should do pine, pine, it keeps coming through for a reason. There's something with the energy of pine, and you should probably look it up. You guys can let me know down in the description box. I would love that. That would be perfect for whatever it is that you're thinking of doing. We have potential. See, this is what I'm talking about. It's you guys are learning how to manifest with this stuff. Like you're learning how to manifest with your chakra system, and it's starting to align to your planets. And it's like you're bridging together so many different things, and you're just doing it intuitively that you may not be fully aware of all the things that you're pulling together into one thing. And it just is all contained within your energy. That's just freaking amazing. Teach me your ways, Obi-Wan. Last quarter moon in Capricorn, leave the past behind. Absolutely. Yeah. This must be why. And it makes perfect sense for why I talked to you guys about, or why I told that story, because that was the past and I had to understand it in order to move beyond it. And once you move beyond it, then you really do purify it and you understand like the magnitude of potential that you have. And you guys have some massive potential. More than that. Number 30, the gambler, Fortune's Yellow Rose. I actually got this in a personal reading for myself the other day. And I was like, well, that's interesting. You guys have you heard that song by the Steve Miller Band, The Joker? That just played through my head. Maybe check that out. There might be a message in there for you. But this is literally about taking risks, taking chances. It's like, okay, it's time to jump. It's time to leap into something new. It's time for you to really embrace yourself, embrace your gifts, and embrace your personal power. And the more that you do that, the more that everything that you have seen and want will come forth. All right, we have Get Creative. Yeah, just like that wood project. And then, sorry guys. Your energy has me like super hyper. I love it. Dare to Dream. Are you guys noticing the pattern here? Like, let's do this. I'm waiting for take risks to come out. Play. Dolphins. Oh, you guys got 5 cards. Oh, they stuck together. Death. Oh my God. You guys, death and transmute. That's literally what I was talking about. It's literally like transmuting it all. It's taking everything that happened before, and it's literally you guys took the chance and you went through the death. Like the death card is not about death. It's literally about transformation. It's about leaving the past behind and letting it become something new so that you can play and dream and be creative and really take risks with your life, because you know that the risks that you're taking are actually calculated risks. The King of Cups or the King of Water does not do anything without it being something that is actually calculated. That is the whole point of blending the logic with the emotions. He does everything as a calculated risk. It's still a risk. It's still leaping into the unknown. It is still taking a chance in your dreams. It's still getting really wild and really creative. It's still doing all of that, but you've done the work. You have transformed it. And now it's time for you to just really play around with your gifts, play around with your manifestation abilities, because I bet you anything, you have more manifestation capabilities than you could ever imagine. I mean, like snap a finger and something appears. I mean, like go win the lottery. I mean, like I'm going to go and buy a new car and somehow you have the money in your bank account. There's no rhyme or reason or logic to it, but you took a calculated risk. You said, okay, this is what I want. You threw it out to the universe, and it was a calculated risk because you set up an appointment to go look at cars. Now you're going to look at cars, and all of a sudden everything just falls in line perfectly. If I'm telling your story, please let me know, because I really want to know how you did this. However, what I'm seeing here is you really like the greatest potential you have is in the purity of what you are trying to bring into your life. You wanting to play, you wanting to dream, you wanting to experience life. Spirit wants that for you. That is your greatest potential. So there may be some last vestiges in your solar plexus that just need to fall away. And you know what I just noticed? This is Fortune's yellow rose. It's literally like saying, like your solar plexus is like, it's time to get adventurous. It's time to do something bold. So in my case, I'm going to give you guys an example because that's how I channel. In my case, I just saw my doctor. I told you guys that big, long story. I just saw my doctor again for the first time since December of 2021. I haven't seen her since December 10th. This is a doctor that I used to see every 2 weeks. Like we would have standing appointments for about 6 months on end, every 2 weeks, if not every week. That's how severe my health, how chronically ill I was. And it was like, okay, I'm just going to kind of jump in there. And it had been 7.5 months or 6.5 months, 7.5 months. 7.5 months. And it was incredible because I was a completely different person at that point. I was going to tell you guys something more about the rose. Oh, sorry. I hate when that happens. Does that happen to you guys? I have ADHD, and it's just like when I'm sleep deprived with ADHD, even my meds don't work for it. Plus, I'm on this new steroid, so it's very interesting. I may be oversharing, but I really don't think so. Not with you guys, because my community is so amazing. I'm feeling weird today. Anyway, so I was sitting there and I was talking to her, about this new holistic path I'm on, and this naturalistic healing method that I'm using, which I'm not going to share here just because it's a deeply personal choice. But I was telling her about it, and she goes, okay. She goes, well, how's it going? I said, I looked at her dead in the eye and I go, I flew to Florida alone. And she goes, whoa. I was like, yep, I spent a week in Florida by myself, and that's code for like without my husband, who's like my rock and my support system. And the last time I went to Florida, I had to have an inhaler on the plane because the pressure was so much that my lungs couldn't take it. I didn't even take an inhaler with because I haven't used it in a year. I'm trying not to brag. I'm just really proud of myself for the progress my body has made. But I told her, I looked at her dead in the face and I said, I got stuck in Atlanta overnight. And she goes, and you were okay? I was like, well, I was a little tired because I ran across the airport in the middle of the night trying to get to my gate. And I got there 5 minutes before my flight took off, but they had already taxied the plane away. But they paid for a hotel room and everything worked out really fine. I said I was a little panicky for a minute there just because I was out of my depth, but I calmed down and was like, okay, it's an experience. The universe wants me here. And here's the thing about that, guys. I met the most amazing woman, Karen, and we talked from the shuttle ride at the airport all the way to the hotel. We talked until we got to our rooms, which were like 2 doors down from each other. And then in the morning, as I'm sitting there waiting for the shuttle, she was not in the lobby. And I was like, oh, that's really sad. She was really awesome. I get sat down and buckle up and I'm sitting there chuckling to myself because we had made a joke about how pointless it was to have seatbelts on a shuttle. And she gets on and she goes, oh, good. I was so happy. I'm so glad you're there. I was hoping it was like you were going to be up. And, you know, we both just kind of rushed into talking as though we were old friends. And we talked the entire time. We got to know each other. We didn't even exchange contact information, but as we were on the tram and I was about to get off, she literally leaned over and hugged me like just a complete stranger. And I'm usually the stranger that hugs people randomly, but she was like, oh no, you have to hug me before you go. And it was one of the most wonderful experiences of my life. And none of that would have happened if I had made that connecting flight. Not a single second of that would have happened if I had made that connecting flight. When you take risks in life, when you gamble with what your norm is and what your comfort level is, when you say, okay, I've calculated as many possibilities as my physical brain can handle because our brains cannot actually fathom the amount of possibilities and potentialities that spirit can lay out before us. But when you can give yourself an educated guess or a calculated risk factor here, you jump, you leap, you close your eyes, you don the fool's little stick and bag, and you leap into your future. Every single time you do that, you are reborn new, and that gambler energy builds, but it builds in such a pure way that you learn that you can literally touch the stars, swim to the bottom of the ocean, and climb to the highest mountain if you choose to. I may be over-exaggerating a little bit. However, Elon Musk, I believe it was, or is it Jeffrey Bezos? One of those two literally has a plane to go into like the early stages of space so that William Shatner could go to space. So, I mean, if you want to touch the stars, there are literally human beings building spaceships so that they can just go up and come back down. That to me is touching the stars. Close your eyes and reach out and let the stars touch you back. Trust in yourself. You are learning that through purifying yourself and purifying your motives, your intentions, and your movements forward because you've let the past go. And my God, are you guys such amazing people. I just spent the last 25 minutes like spilling my guts to you, so you're definitely empaths, but also talking you up. And I don't even think you really needed it, but if you did, you're welcome. But thank you. Seriously, thank you for being here because this energy is really amazing. I learned so much through your energy. Like you opened doors for me. And for that, I will be forever grateful. So pile 4, this is all I have for you. Yeah. You guys should write a book. film a movie, do something. Like just share your awesomeness with the world because you are freaking awesome. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for stopping by my channel. Thank you for sharing your energy and letting me read it. And thank you to your guides for bringing your energy in because this is so cool. I know I sound like I'm fangirling, but that's okay. Like I said, I feel weird in a good way because your energy is really, really like super awesome. So pile 4, thank you again. Thank you to Spirit for allowing me to sit in this energy, to flow these messages forth, to share with pile 4 our similarities. I don't know, whatever it was, but thank you. It was really cool. All right, pile 4, if this resonated, hit that like button, share it out with anybody who you want to know just how awesome you are. Like literally be like, hey, listen to pile 4. That's me. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and hit that little notification bell up in the corner so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. You guys rock my socks off. And yes, I'm a nerd and I am proud of it. Thank you again so much for being here. Check down in the description box. You can find links to my Amazon author page. You can also find links to donate to my channel. There are also links for personal readings. If you would like to book a personal reading based off of one of the YouTube pick-a cards that I have up on my channel, all you have to do is book the reading. I will shoot you an email. You tell me what pick-a card it was and what pile, and I will compile both the pick a card section as well as a personal reading afterwards. They run from 15 minutes to 30 minutes and they are available on my website, which you can find in the description box below. All right, pile 4, you guys are awesome. Go do your thing. I love you guys. I will see you next time. Bye.